referee. He's had a fairly short journey to make. Conor Lane from Banteer in Cork, man who's taken charge of 3 All-Ireland senior finals in his refereeing career. And as I mentioned, it will be Galway in their away strip to play from right to left with the wind behind them. And Marty Clark, the word you used to describe that breeze, that wind, is significant.
It is significant, and it's coming right in from the mountains on the stand side of this stadium here in Tralee, and it's a tricky, difficult breeze. It's across and down favouring where Galway are playing, and the Kerry boys will obviously know it better, and that will, give them an advantage when it comes to shooting as the Galway boys work it out on the go.
Well, it's been 6 months, give or take, since these players have had a meaningful match. They are raring to go, and we're off and running. Kerry, firm favourites to begin the defence of their Division 1 league title with a win, but Galway looking for much more than a moral victory after losing 3 matches in a row at the tail end of last year. On the ball for Kerry, it's Dara Moynihan. In case you joined us late, it's Kieran Fitzgibbon making his league debut in goal for Kerry. Shane Ryan out injured as the ball is worked into the hands of Paudie Clifford. Clifford eyes up the target, and what about that for a start?
Yeah, Mike, what a kick, drilled into the breeze, right into the teeth of the breeze on the left foot. Lovely ball movement by Kerry and a great finish from Clifford on the left.
Well, it's his first league start, the older brother of David Clifford, and Kerry up and running. Quick kick out from Galway, and just the way Pádraig Joyce likes it, early and fast into this man, Damien Comer. He's going to take Morley. He's gone by him. Damien Comer back in the team and back on the score sheet. It has been a flying start. 70 seconds gone, and a first glimpse of Comer in full flight.
Yeah, you asked me about him before the game, and there's the answer. Get that man on the ball and things happen. It was a very intimidating position for Morley to be in. Comer had full run at him and a classy finish off the fist.
We're off and running again. Quick hands by Sean O'Shea. Here's Paudie Clifford. He has started like he means business. Killian Spillane breaks to his right, gives it to the younger brother, and David Clifford has taken a little over 90 seconds to open his account in 2021.
How fast has this game started? Mike, we were wondering, would the players be sussing each other out given the extended period they've had since playing competitive football? 3 scores in under 2 minutes, and a classic Clifford score off the left.
Bernard Power from Corofin goes long and direct, broken down by Jack Barry and scooped up by the wing-back Gavin White. Too long for O'Shea, just right for Killian Spillane, and Killian Spillane from Temple No makes it look easy. Kerry into the groove right from the get-go.
Yeah, offensively both teams really at it, particularly Kerry. Shoot on sight, all 3 scores. The players, the 2 Cliffords, this time Spillane, get that ball into the shooting zone, over the shoulder on the right foot this time, and the space being afforded by both sides defensively will have to be sharpened up, but certainly attacking players well on top.
So that means now, as Marty said there, each and every one of the Kerry full forward line has scored from play, and plenty in these early stages for Jack Glynn, Sean Mulkerran and Liam Silk to think about in that Galway full back line. Well, the game here last year went right to the wire, and it was that man Killian Spillane who kicked the winner deep in stoppage time as Paul Conroy crosses the 45, little tug on the jersey. It was a lazy challenge really by Paul Ganey, and Galway will have a shot at goal.
Yeah, they will, and finally we can take a breath here, Mike. It was probably there, the free on Conroy, as we see Matthew Tierney come over to kick this ball. It's a very difficult breeze, as we spoke about just before throw-in. Tierney on the left will have to angle it at the right-hand post and let the breeze do the rest from there, the right-hand post as we look at it.
Well, back in December, Matthew Tierney was a key man in the Galway under-20 team that won the All-Ireland title. Steps up here to make his first start in the Allianz League. That's back off the post, breaks kindly for Morley, and David Moran across to sweep and cover, and fouled on his way out by Comer. But that strong win behind Galway in this opening half means they will be looking to put as many scores on the board as possible over the next half an hour or so. First touch here for the debutant Kieran Fitzgibbon from Kenmare. Here's Paddy Clifford. Moving across to shadow him is Eamon Brannigan, fit again, back in the Galway team. And here's Gavin Crowley getting a run out at centre back as Kerry try to find a replacement for Peter Crowley, one of those players who called time on his career during the off-season. Well, Galway have organised their defence. That's why Kerry are looking for gaps, probing for an opening. Dara Moynihan gets his head up. Nice decoy run made by Sean O'Shea. That's opened up the space, but it just ran away from Dara Moynihan. And that will go down as a wide ball. But that was really well-organised defensive play initially by Galway. And Kerry, in the end, just ran out of road.
Yeah, it did, and as the rain starts to fall down as well, which is going to make it even more challenging for the players out there, and as the surface becomes slightly greasy, we saw that on Moynihan's bounce there. It nearly got away from him. Most players yet to get the gloves on as well, Mike. They'll be rushing for that.
Well, it was forecast, and right on cue, the first light shower of the day rolls in over Tralee. Here's Jack Glynn, one of the debutants in the Galway team. That was down around the bootlaces of Shane Walsh, knocked away. And a chance for Kerry to play on the break here. Brian O'Begley makes a run. This is Clifford. Marking is very loose. Clifford strolls through, and David Clifford, at his leisure, clips over his second point, and Kerry extend that lead.
Yeah, Paddy Clifford set that up for David Clifford. Clifford starting out the field. Kerry's entire inside 45, inside their own 45 attacking was vacant, and Clifford just strolled inside and clipped it over on his left. And it's a fantastic start for Kerry as they come up on a zone that potentially Power will look to kick the ball over it. No, he's gone short.
Power clips it short to Jack Glynn there, who managed to get free and make himself available. That's a big, solid hit by Clifford on Gary O'Donnell, one of the biggest, strongest men in that Galway team that starts today.
How quickly the Kerry players have moved the ball, Mike, has been striking. There hasn't been too many bounces or solos. It's just get it and move it by foot or hand, and it's really caught Galway out.
Off the ball there, this man Shane Walsh was trying his best to get free, but Brian O'Begley making life difficult. Now Walsh has the ball in his hands. Everybody tightly covered. Jack Barry, by the way, sweeping in front of Damien Comer as well, cutting out that early long ball, so Galway will have to be patient. Shane Walsh filling the role of playmaker here. Brian O'Begley and Paul Murphy in close proximity. Gainey as well. Good pressure by Kerry. Conroy got there just in front of David Moran, and Conroy wins the free. Comer trying to get loose inside. Morley is with him. Comer, though, has got the run on him here, the jump start, as it were. Steps away, makes an angle. Comer swings it with the wind wide on his own side.
Yeah, he's such a handful, such a powerful presence, and again, that wind, you really have to drill it outside that right-hand post, but as the ball's turned over.
Kieran Fitzgibbon there, looking to go short and quick to Gavin White. All works out for Kerry. Jack Barry across to the captain, Paul Murphy. Galway players funneling back into their own half. They've got 12 men inside their own 65 right now. Wind and the rain blowing into Kerry's faces. Here's David Moran, turns 33 next month. Nice ball. Bounces up at the right height for Sean O'Shea. The little show and go from the Kerry number 11. Now Paul Murphy goes by the first defender. Sean Mulkerran stops him in his tracks and gives away the 45.
Yeah, brilliant defending by Mulkerran, because it was a great off-the-shoulder run by Murphy. He looked up, he wanted to give the ball inside, but the Kerry attack was outnumbered, and that allowed Mulkerran to come in, and it's very fortunate for Kerry to get the 45 there, because the last touch certainly came off the Kerry number 5, but it's a chance for Sean O'Shea.
Well, the first 9 minutes have flown by, and 4 points, all from play, giving the defending league champions a comfortable cushion as Sean O'Shea steps up to this 45. Young Player of the Year back in 2019. one of many players now in this current Kerry squad with a couple of All-Ireland minor medals. As Bernard Power and Paul Conroy await developments on the Galway goal line. Remember O'Shea here kicking into the teeth of the wind. He struck that beautifully, sails over. And Kerry now have clear daylight between themselves and Galway.
Yeah, just a brilliant kick from a brilliant player, and it's such a difficult skill when you have to kick your foot through it on the right-hand side the way he did, but he made it look easy. He's just a class act.
Power looking to mix up the kickouts. Lifted nicely there by Tierney, and coming at pace is Gary O'Donnell, today making his 126th appearance for Galway. Ball lost on the way out. Again, Kerry applying pressure high up the field. This is Dara Moynihan. Gavin White breaks inside. Moynihan goes for his own score, and in hindsight should really have played the pass. That's a poor wide by Dara Moynihan.
Yeah, he almost had too many options when the play broke forward. He wanted to give it, but he didn't give it initially because potentially he thought the pass wasn't on straight away, and then it's a pretty bad miss. But it's interesting that Kerry have no problem when Galway win that initial kick out, dropping back and then squeezing the pressure right on its source, and it's been very difficult for Galway.
Again, Kerry apply the high court press, and Power unable to find his target. But it's a very clever tactic. They're filling all those pockets of space. They're reducing the options for Bernard Power, and Galway still trying to figure it out 11 minutes in.
Yeah, they are, and even when that first pass is received by Galway, Kerry are still there. They're in position to squeeze the ball and win it high up the field.
Paddy Clifford to Jack Barry. Kerry content here to go backwards to come forwards as O'Begley gives it to Gavin Crowley, one of 3 Temple no men who start for Kerry today. David Moran was very precise. Lovely soft hands by Sean O'Shea to David Clifford, and he could do that all day long. 3 points from Clifford, all from play, filling his boots in the first 12 minutes.
Absolute class. The little pass inside by David Moran really broke the play open because Galway had numbers back, but to take an instantaneous give by O'Shea as he was going down at his boots, and then it's in David Clifford's hand on his left foot, and you know what the answer is there. It's been an absolutely fantastic start by Kerry.
Well, the movement in the Kerry forward line when they attack is a joy to watch. They're interchanging, rotating constantly, and Galway's inexperienced defenders just struggling to keep tabs on that Kerry inside forward line. Now it's Galway's turn. They go long, looking for Desi Keneally. Does well to keep it in play, just about. Recycled to Paul Kelly. And Kerry it is now who sit in. 13 men back. And Galway will play across the 65. And Johnny Heaney will try and start something to Dylan McHugh from Currafin. Comer makes his move. McHugh decides against giving him the pass. Conroy will try another avenue. Peter Cook under pressure from Gainey. Paul Kelly again. Galway right back where they started. Kelly, Cook, Brannigan, support from Jack Glynn. 3 Kerry men after him. Galway here trying to pick their way through a very crowded defence, and in the end it's Keneally, Desi Keneally, who's managed to win a free, and the player being spoken to there, Breen O'Begley. Well, they were patient and it's worked out in the end.
Yeah, they were super patient, and look, Kerry really defended initially so well. It was just that slight, you can see the frustration there because they had the attack covered, but this will be a crucial score.
So up steps Shane Walsh from Kilkern Clonberne, the Galway captain. Haven't seen a whole lot of him in the first 14 minutes. And that one hits the target. That's his first. And something for Pádraig Joyce's team to take with them as we head into the short stretch between now and the water break. which will be arriving in just a matter of minutes. Paul Conroy. Well, Matthew Tierney there tried to play a 1-2, but Conor Lane felt the ball was thrown free to Kerry, and Galway here have been caught out of position. Sean O'Shea across to Killian Spillane, trying to spread that Galway defence. O'Shea's continued the run. Clifford, goal! David Clifford pounces for his 9th goal of his Kerry career. The Galway defence cut wide open, and it was that man, O'Shea to Clifford, back of the net.
How well do those two link up? And it was significant as well by Spillane just to feed the on-rushing O'Shea, who is so unselfish, so intelligent, just lobbed it up for the tall, athletic Clifford to palm it home, and it's a real blow to Galway, but fantastic forward play yet again from Kerry.
Well, Kerry have gone 7 points clear here. Clifford 1-3 from play. Liam Silk from Currafin is his direct marker, but the movement all around him, creating so many chances. And here's another one. The Galway defence caught napping. It's Dara Moynihan, power with the save. Really could and should have been a second Kerry goal. They get another chance. Moynihan to Killian Spillane, and Spillane takes the point. Well, the Galway defence is at 6s and 7s right now. And Bernard Power has injured himself in the process of making this save. Could so easily have been a second Kerry goal. But it's panic stations every time Kerry attack.
It is, Mike, and as you mentioned, Power's down injured, but Galway need that. Galway need the break, because it seems to be Kerry in their defensive zone. With one kick, they're able to take out, 7-8 Galway players, and they're over the back of Galway totally into an open goal. It happened twice there in 1 minute. 1-1 Kerry scored of it. Probably should have been 2 goals, but very, very easily Galway are just totally exposed with one kick over the top, and it seems to be 4 attackers on 3 defenders running in. So surely Galway will try and address that, take nothing away from Kerry, exploiting the inexperience of the Galway defence, and with some fantastic beautiful play to watch from a forward perspective. But Galway really need to get things sorted at the back.
We just caught a glimpse there a moment ago, Marty, of Pádraig Joyce, the Galway manager, in conversation with John Concannon, one of his selectors. What can they do? What should they do to try and shore up that defence?
They probably do need to put some extra bodies in there. Just for 4 or 5 minutes, get 1 or 2 back, even though they're playing with the breeze, because Kerry are rampant. It looked like an extremely strong Kerry team on paper, but the way they're forward, particularly O'Shea and the Cliffords are linking up, it's so difficult to stop, but they need to stem the tide somehow.
Well, there's the whistle for the water break. That gives Galway some respite. It gives them a chance to get reorganised, because that scoreline speaks for itself. Kerry have raced into an 8-point lead here, and they're worth every single one of that 8-point advantage. David Clifford, the man in your picture, the goal scorer. And let's take another look at how he did it, Marty.
Yeah, it's just taking the right option all the time, just giving it to the man in the better position. O'Shea, initially Spillane just with that little lob on it. The run O'Shea made, it was 50 metres on, and he's gathering it with Galway players' conversion on him, and he just flicks it up off his right hand. He knows Clifford has the height and the class. Clifford knows it's coming, and it looks like a simple finish in the end, but it's because of the work by his 2 full forward mates that make it that way, and Clifford's having a field day off the back of the quality of ball movement.
We're not the first people to ask this question, Marty. We won't be the last, but how do you solve a problem like David Clifford? Liam Silk, one of the best defenders in the game, outstanding man marker, really having huge issues at the moment.
It's all about the supply line, and today it's been fantastic. The one thing I noted during the first half, it's the speed of ball movement from Kerry. They're not sometimes when you see Galway and they're stopped, they're solo, it's stationary. Kerry are moving the ball, even if it's a 20-metre kick pass, the ball's being moved, and what that does to the defence, it moves the defence further up the field, and it allows the ball in. We saw the David Moran pass in, and O'Shea's lightning hands allowed Clifford to set himself off 1 step on the left foot for that point. And it's as disappointing as Galway have been, Kerry have really been magnificent.
Well, the sort of pace and intensity that Kerry have started this game with has taken Galway by surprise by the looks of things. But we've seen so often in the past, the water break can be a a momentum breaker, a momentum shifter. Galway now will be looking to get their game going. Remember, they do have that strong breeze behind them, but just 1 point from play to show for their effort so far.
You know, a number of the under-20 squad come in. Who's going to grab it for them? It has to be Walsh, it has to be Comer. You're looking to Paul Conroy. You need a calm head. There's still lots of time left, but if they don't get a grip on this soon, it will get out of hand, because Kerry look really in the mood, the way they're squeezing this kick out. They're intense and hungry.
Again, they push up on Power, who has to be precise, and he finds Paul Conroy. Conroy there put his hand up and said, hit me, and managed to win the ball and gets it away as far as Peter Cook. This is his first game for Galway since the 2019 championship defeat to Mayo, as Shane Walsh drifts deep to get on that ball and try and make something happen. Matthew Tierney makes a run. Instead, it's Eamon Brannigan. Damien Comer has moved out away from the edge of the square, just, I think, to try and keep Tadhg Morley guessing, as again Kerry bring everybody bar David Clifford back behind the ball. Everybody knows exactly where they should be, and Galway try to break them down. Here's Paul Conroy, throws it up onto the breeze, and that's much better. Paul Conroy using all his experience to kick over that Kerry wall, over the bar. Gap is back to 7.
Yeah, it is, and you had Comer involved, you had Shane Walsh involved, and you had Conroy involved. The three names we mentioned, the leaders of the team, settled some of the younger guys, and it really was an exquisite dink little kick, using the breeze to advantage for Conroy, and it was much needed.
Long delivery over everybody except Gary O'Donnell, and Galway will go again. Peter Cook from Moycullen clips it into the space in front of Comer, but well read by Morley. Kerry, every time they can, dropping an extra man back in front of Comer, anticipating that long ball. That looked like a late challenge on Gavin White. Conor Lane says play away. Paudie Clifford, diagonal delivery towards his brother David again, broken away by Mulkerran. That was better by the full-back from Ilon Aaron, and here he is again. Nice, neat footwork, as you would expect from a very talented Shannos dancer, Sean Mulkerran. Got himself out of trouble nicely, and a free for a foul on Dylan McHugh. Sean O'Shea here chasing back Peter Cook. Now Eamon Brannigan clips it down the line to Shane Walsh, finding it very difficult to get any room to manoeuvre. This time it's Jason Foley, and Foley, the former underage sprint champion, using his pace to good effect.
He is. It's Kerry's transition now, from winning the ball back in their defensive 45 up to the attack. That's been the most impressive aspect today.
David Moran, right on cue, picks out a lovely ball to Dara Moynihan. Again, the marking is very loose. Plenty of options. Man coming at pace is Paudie Clifford. Another Kerry goal, and this time it's Paudie Clifford. The Clifford brothers from Fossa strike a goal apiece, and now Kerry are 10 points in front.
Watch the little reverse pass here by Moynihan. Lovely pass, and the disguise finish for Clifford. He gave the eyes to the keeper that he was going to go into the far corner, pulled it back, closed his left foot on it into the near side. Keeper fell for it. Wonderful finish. Fantastic attack and play from Kerry continues. It's an exhibition.
Well, Galway now are in all sorts of trouble. Paudie Clifford has just scored his first goal for Kerry, as Peter Cook tries to respond at the other end, and that's well wide. Well, Galway's heads must be spinning. Pádraig Joyce must be wondering, where does he and does his team go from here? Peter Keane in a very different sort of mood right now.
Yeah, he is. You can see that the main difference so far has been when the Galway are coming out of defence, the Sean O'Shea's are tackling, David Moran's getting his body on the line. They're making it difficult for Galway to move the ball forward. Whereas on the other hand, Galway are dropping off and Kerry are transitioning up the field, as we can see now. Kerry
using that long foot pass to devastating effect to get their forwards on the move. This time though, Sean O'Shea turns into heavy traffic. Ball soccer style along the ground by Gainey, trying to keep it alive. Bounces out to Liam Silk, and Galway ride their luck and manage to break up that Kerry attack. Here's Conroy across to Comer. The full forward from Annadown has seen enough inside by the looks of things and wants to get his hands on the ball. Back to Shane Walsh, trying to bend it in. It's just been one of those days so far for Galway and Walsh.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort. A little bit too full of contact. It didn't bend back in. But Comer behind the ball, he was chasing back there. He ended up on the turnover. Maybe that's something Pádraig Joyce needs to look at to get a foothold in the game, get his main players playing in defence, coming out with the ball, because it certainly isn't working at the moment.
Kieran Fitzgibbon has had a fairly quiet day so far in his debut. Goes long, finds David Moran, and that was right from the training ground. The Kerrans O'Rahilly's midfielder drives on, just brushed aside the first tackle. Dara Moynihan, nice tidy solo to keep it away from Jack Glynn. Here's Pádraig Clifford, one of the Kerry goal scorers, across to Paul Gainey. Moves it on swiftly to O'Shea, and Gainey again. So much movement. It's Pádraig Clifford again, who goes in. Power with the save. It falls to Gavin White, and White just somehow missed his shot from point-blank range, and Kerry leave a third goal behind them. But once again, nobody picking up Pádraig Clifford, who timed his run to perfection. And more questions for the Kerry, or for the Galway backline rather, to answer.
Yeah, the pass inside by Gainey. Gainey initially won it straight away. He gave it to Sean O'Shea. He got it back. Wonderful pass inside. Clifford went for it himself, and somehow or another, as you mentioned, White missed it. As another
Clifford, first time, swung a boot at it, and it swings wide. Well, you wouldn't have been one bit surprised had it ended up in the back of the net. It's been that sort of half for him and for Kerry, as we take another look at another goal chance for Pádraig Clifford.
Yeah, the Clifford chance was good. It was a good save by Parr. It was a good height, and you just expect Gavin White to take this round the goalkeeper, put it into the net, but somehow, fortunately for Galway, he slipped and the chance left Kerry.
Well, Kerry have put 2-7 on the board in 25 minutes. The vast majority of that tally has come from open play. And whatever hangover they might have been nursing from that championship defeat to Cork last season, well, they've got quite a bit of it out of their system. They have so far in this first half.
And it's worth mentioning as well, this is off the back of a 4-week pre-season, 6 months since competitive action, makes it all the more impressive.
Paul Conroy to strike this from just outside the 45, and Conroy with his second score of the game. He's 31 now, the midfielder from St. James's, and Galway are going to need a huge performance from him and everybody else if they're to start reeling Kerry back in.
Double change.
Well, Pádraig Joyce is making a double substitution here, and no major surprise to see him shake it up. Number 19, Cathal Sweeney, another of the under-20s from last season. In fact, he's under-20 this year as well. The Killannon clubman, he's in. And here comes number 21, Ronan Steed from Currafin. Players who are being replaced are Johnny Heaney and Peter Cook. So Pádraig Joyce taking action after 27 minutes. Ball breaks off the hands of Desi Keneally. Jack Barry again, he's got so much time to pick out the pass, and Dara Moynihan once more is free. Dara Moynihan and Pádraig Clifford getting far too much latitude. David Clifford across to O'Begley. Here's Jack Barry. Ronan Steed trying to get involved. Ball is recycled back to Pádraig Clifford again. Bounces off the Galway tackle, that gives him some momentum. Man on the ground is Paul Murphy. Conor Lane gives a free out for overcarrying. Chance for Bernard Power here to stretch his legs, the Corofin goalkeeper. This only his second Allianz League appearance of his career, by the way. Has played quite a bit of championship football, but not so much league. Eamon Brannigan. Tig Morley not buying what Brannigan was trying to sell there. So Galway will try another route. Gary O'Donnell from Tuam Stars winds up from 40 yards. Fitzgibbon behind it. Just not enough power behind the shot. And considering they're playing with the wind and they're 9 down here, Galway are in a very tight corner, Marty, right now.
Yeah, they are, and it's, what is it, 3-4 seconds since that ball's dropped short and Kerry are on again.
David Clifford just eases by Mulkerrin, and that's just why David Clifford is one of the very best in the business. That's now a goal and 4. I make it from play. And so many scores for the highlights reel, and there's another one.
So stylish. The way he's able to drop the ball and use the spin to make the wind become his friend and his advantage, and his movement, he just looks so sharp for this early stage of the year.
Well, Galway have switched their corner backs. It's now Jack Glynn on his debut, who's being handed the fairly unenviable task of trying to tie down David Clifford. But still no sign of an extra man, a sweeper, an extra body back there. Galway still going man-to-man in their own defence. Dara Moynihan. Spillane makes a decoy run, now gets the ball all right, flicks it back to Gainey. Paul Gainey trying to bend it in and wide on his own side. But every time Kerry go forward, countless options for the man on the ball.
Yeah, there is, and they're using the ball so well, so cleverly, intricate little passes, keeping moving. Even if it's a 2-3 metre hand pass, they give and go. They are linking up so well. Their synergy is really obvious out there, and that's why they've hit 2-8, and it could have easily been 3-12, 3-13 at this stage.
Glorious sunshine now again, bathing Austin Stack Park, but things just not going to plan for Galway. They're another example of a breakdown in communications. Cathal Sweeney not getting the pass he was expecting, and this gives Kerry a chance to keep Galway penned in a little longer. Paul Murphy to the totally unmarked Dara Moynihan. Moynihan trying to take Glynn on the outside. Paudie Clifford is in again. And Paudie Clifford once more misses a chance to score his second goal. Well, on another day, Paudie Clifford's got a hat-trick by this stage.
Yeah, Moynihan and Clifford just seem to be getting no respect whatsoever from the Galway defence. They're in acres of space each time. Clifford obviously more comfortable on his left foot. It's a really good chance, but on his weaker right foot, he just gave it too much. And again, massive let off for Galway.
Good kick out by Power, hits his target, Matthew Tierney, who's had a very quiet opening half. Now Conroy trying his best to get Galway moving. That was O'Begliak again, getting there just in front of Shane Walsh, who hasn't been able to get into this game at all in the first 31 minutes. And with Comer and Walsh largely out of it, Galway struggling to make any impressions up front.
Yeah, they are. They've just been totally dominated in all aspects. I know we've spent a lot of time praising the Kerry attacking and their ball movement, but defensively they've been extremely good as well. They've worked in numbers, they've been really good as well, and they've held Galway to 4 points, who are playing with the wind, as we've mentioned as well. So it's been as close to perfection as possible for Peter Keane's side.
And considering Kerry will be out in the Munster Championship in just 6 weeks' time against Clare in Killarney, this first half performance will be very encouraging for Peter Keane and his management team. As he said beforehand, nobody quite sure what kind of shape they were really in. Well, he's got a much better idea now. His team 10 points in front here in Tralee and cruising. Sean O'Shea as Kerry play keep ball and Galway chase shadows. Jack Barry, David Moran, and they really are toying with Galway, and we're in the 33rd minute.
They are, Mike. They've numbers back, but there's no pressure, there's no contact. It's okay standing off and crowding space, but you know, you're 10 points down, you need to make contact, serious pressure on the ball, because these Kerry players are too highly skilled. Give them 2 yards and they'll work a score. Still, you see, there's not a touch, there's not physical contact on the ball or the Kerry players, and that will be the most worrying thing for Pádraig Joyce. All
15 Galway men now back between the ball and their own goal, but as Marty said, no pressure on any of the ball carriers. Brino Begliac. Kerry happy to play possession football here. They're in no hurry. Paul Murphy, man of the match 7 years ago in the All-Ireland final, still going strong. Now Galway come out to meet the ball carrier. Kerry still find a way through. It's Paul Murphy. There's a hint of a goal here. Sean O'Shea, Killian Spillane, nice and easy. And Killian Spillane has now hit 3 points, all from play. And the son of Tom Spillane, man who won 4 All-Ireland medals, did that with the minimum of effort.
Yeah, he did, and that's twice now. He's been in and around goal, and you could see his brain was working for that split second. Will I take the goal on? But twice he's chosen the right option to keep the scoreboard moving for Kerry.
That kick out from Power smashed back down the field by Gavin Crowley. And Bernard Power will get a second chance to start a Galway attack. We're into the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half, and that was a little too casual by Galway, and it's broken down again. They really haven't got to the pitch of this game at all. Clifford looking to spray it across towards Dara Moynihan, but a rare error by Kerry's talisman. And perhaps a late chance here for Galway to put a score on the board. Conroy looking for Comer. Gets out in front and links with Cathal Sweeney, one of the 2 Galway substitutes. Drives through the gap. Here's Desi Keneally. And Desi Keneally from Moycullen slots over his first point, and one Galway really, really needed.
Yeah, Keneally, super skilled player, hasn't had many sights, so you know it's a really important score. He didn't have much time. He had to get the ball down onto his right foot as Kerry defender came diving in, and that'll do him good confidence. But it's really goals, or at least a succession of points that Galway are after as we're into 2 minutes injury.
Galway on the front foot again. Sweeney, who's got on quite a bit of ball since he came in, he's picked out Matthew Tierney, and Matthew Tierney swings over his first point of the game. The young centre forward from Uachtarard getting onto his favourite left foot, and Galway have hit 2 scores in a row.
And that's better again off the Fitzgibbon kick out. The substitute Kerry keeper that's come in late, he hasn't been outstanding on those kick outs, and that is an important 2 scores in a row for Galway.
This time Fitzgibbon goes short, picked out Jack Barry, and Kerry have secured possession. The home side leading here by 9 points. We're into the 2nd minute of stoppage time. We were told we'd have at least 2. Kerry play away. Sean O'Shea, he's got Liam Silk for company. Back to Killian Spillane. Again, the marking far too loose, and Spillane can score at his ease once again. That's now 4 points. Same tally he hit against Cork in the championship last season. But once O'Shea had made that initial burst, well, Spillane had all the time in the world.
Yeah, Sean O'Shea has been involved in so much. He won that ball. It was almost just a 50-50 ball. He carried it forward, and he just brings his teammates into the play so well. He would be so good to play with. And he set up Spillane for another who's taken his points really, really nicely.
That Spillane score restores the 10-point Kerry cushion. And worth reminding ourselves that they will have the breeze behind them in the second half. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. It has been shock and awe from Kerry, and Pádraig Joyce and Galway wondering which way is up after this first half at Austin Stack Park in Tralee. Goals from Pádraig Clifford and his younger brother David setting Kerry up nicely on the opening day of the 2021 Alliance Football League. And at the break, Galway have it all to do. It's Kerry 2-10, Galway 6 points.
Well, a very one-sided first half between Kerry and Galway, but there's plenty more entertaining Alliance Leagues action on the way next week. Myself and Andy Moran will be down in Cusack Park for Westmeath versus Mayo from 2:45, and that's followed by Donegal versus Monaghan and Ballybuffet from 4:45. And rounding off an action-packed Saturday is another Ulster battle as Armagh welcome Tyrone to the Athletic Grounds, and you can watch that from 7:15. But here in Austin Stack Park, a very one-sided first half, 2-10 to 6 points, but that Kerry full forward line, 2-9, unbelievable. The Clifford brothers 1-1, 1-4, and Killian Spillane, although the Clifford brothers probably outshining him, probably with the pick of the points, very cool, calm and composed, and Galway, a couple of points near the end of that first half, but not good enough, I'd say, from Galway is how you'd sum that one up. The word trimming was used when we were watching that in the first half, and startled earwigs was also mentioned. A very, very dominant Kerry display, Mark.
Yeah, they've been in control in all sectors. I mentioned before the game about the Kerry midfield that, it'd be a tough battle against Peter Cook and Paul Conroy. They haven't shown up at all today. Peter Cook is gone. He's been taken off. It's been all Kerry. What I've liked about Kerry is that they've been moving the ball through the lines. Everything. The first option for Kerry is to look up. Is there somebody in a better position? And that has been the difference. Anytime Galway have done it, they've looked dangerous. The ball has gone into Comer, but that's been few and far between. Maybe 2 or 3 times Comer got the ball in, a direct ball, and he looked dangerous. He took on Tadhg Morley. But as I say, maybe 2 or 3 times. Every time Kerry get the ball, be it this side or the other side, the ball is being moved. But for me, the big difference is Galway they're not getting close to Kerry. There's been times there in the first half where 7 or 8 yards, Dara Moynihan wins the ball. Look, we'll get to the Cliffords, but I mean, the space that Kerry are being given, it's crazy. And I don't think that, fitness levels, I think maybe Galway are at a different stage than Kerry at the moment, but it certainly looks out there at the moment.
You look at it there, you look at O'Buegley, Foley, Gavin White, Murphy, the midfield. There's already been a substitution on the midfield in Galway. We talked about Gainey before the game, but Moynihan has been brilliant, running the line. 2 assists, Sean Shea 4 assists and a 45, and then inside. So on every line of the field, Kerry are just simply, aren't they? They're just simply dominating, Mark. And they've been outstanding, kicking the ball, Foley putting the hand in. Mark was crying at him here beside us, put your hand in, and he is. He's getting through. He's getting through the tackler, and it's just lovely to watch. On the Galway point of view, I'd say Porrick. They're the hairdryer treatment, I think, has been mentioned, but they deserve it there. I think the work rate needs to go up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get to it. David Clifford, I think broadcasters are running out of superlative to describe this man. Unbelievable first half.
He's been phenomenal altogether. Look, I suppose the way he's able to just kick with both feet, right, left. Look, he was always a big man, but now he seems to, looking out at him there today, he's even filled out more. But look, it has to be said from a Galway point of view, they'll be looking back at this tape tonight and they won't be too happy with the defending. He seems to have plenty of time on the ball. The goal opportunity, great ball in there by Sean Shea straight across, and he does very well to get a hand at that.
Just on that, Mark, Sean Shea gives the ball to Spillane, and he runs by 4 Galway fellas to get the return, and then it's across to Clifford, But Clifford is just an outstanding player. But you see at the start, Killian Spillane gets a point early, Paddy Clifford gets a point early. Now all of a sudden, David Clifford has to be left one-on-one because you have to watch the other 2 guys, and it just gives him that distraction so that when the ball comes up to him, look at this score. Taking on Mulcairns, and look, Mark, you commented on the pace there. Great pace this early in the season, getting around a man, driving onto his left foot, and the score that we're accustomed to seeing,
Yeah, it's absolutely effortless from David. And then not to be outshone, Paddy appears.
He should have a hat-trick. He should have a hat-trick.
Absolutely. But, even saying that, it's 1-1, 1-1, I should say, for first half for him. It's his first start for Kerry, Mark, and he's absolutely shining superbly.
He's been doing that at county championship level, and it's great to see him doing it now at inter-county level. I work with his uncle Ferguson. He'd be trying to play him down, but it's very hard to play him down now after today.
That's not the Kerry fashion, is it?
This is his goal here.
Yeah, look, he took it very well. Okay, you could be critical and say he should have 2 more goals, but look, he's done very well. What I like, again, I mentioned this already, Kerry are moving the ball through the lines. They're looking who's in a better position, and we see David Moran here looking to kick.
On a Galway perspective, look how many it takes out.
That's way too much space, Andy. Way too much space. And he turns his back to the play here. Beautiful. And breaking the line there. And lovely finish. Low finish. Very hard for the keeper to stop that. But watch the way Darragh Moynihan turns his back to the play there. And takes 2 players out of the game. And, you know, Paddy keeps it low. Beautiful goal. Great finish.
What's great about that, myself and Mark talking up there, Darragh Moynihan has a really bad decision early on. He goes for a point. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. He's learning, he's moving, he's getting older, the seasons are telling on him now. Turns his back, knows Clifford is coming in behind him, lays him on the ball, puts him in. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at the fancy stuff there from the full forward line and getting the scores on the board. But the reason they're able to get the scores on the board is because the Galway kick-out is being absolutely torn apart. This Kerry press is magnificent in the first half anyway.
Yeah, look, it's something Andy and myself spotted straight away. Just they were pushing up. We were looking down at the opposite side of the field. Morley and Jason Foley were pushing out the half-back line. The half-backs were even pushing up beyond midfield. And, you know, whilst Galway were still getting the ball short, they were under pressure straight away. And, you know, Kerry were pressing them right up into their own half of the field. And it's something that Kerry seem to have worked really hard on, you know, and it's clearly they've been working hard and training at it. But it's fantastic to see, and it's put Galway in the back foot.
And it's a real soccer thing that's come in. And we were saying, like, it's like Galway haven't prepared for it, you know. Like, we've seen Donny actually talking on various places over the last... He's going to bring this to Armagh. You know, this is going to be all over. Mayo did it last year. Dublin have done it for years. Kerry did it in 2019 against Dublin. What happened was Paul Murphy pushed too early for the first one. Galway get it and Comer gets the first score. And it's like if Galway just thought, OK, we have this solved. But Kerry got it right for the second, third, fourth, fifth one. And what's happening is when they're coming out with the ball, when the ball then is kicked long, Kerry have 3 fellas on the break zone, right early on the break zone, and they're putting them under huge pressure. But again, it's coming from that. But Paddy Clifford's goal there came from Foley, going through Shane Walsh here on the line. They win it, it gets to David Moore and it's up the field.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, a very one-sided first half. 2 goals for Kerry, 1 from David, 1 from Paddy, but it could have been more. Certainly more thrills than spills for Kerry, and a big showing needed from Galway in the second half. It'll be very interesting to hear the thoughts of Pádraig Joyce and John Divley at half-time. Second half, still to come. Yes, welcome back to Tralee. Just a gentle reminder, there's some Guinness Pro 14 Rainbow Cup action coming up at the end of the month. Munster welcome Cardiff to Limerick on Friday the 28th from 7 p.m, and the following day Ulster host Scarlets in Belfast, and Connacht make the trip to Italy to face Benetton, and you can see all of those games live on Air Sport 1.
Sean O'Shea across to Killian Spillane, trying to spread that Galway defence. O'Shea's continued the run. Clifford, goal! David Clifford pounces for his 9th goal of his Kerry career. Plenty of options. Man coming at pace is Paddy Clifford. Another Kerry goal, and this time it's Paddy Clifford.
Well, Clifford, August Clifford, I think they're going to be pictures we're going to be seeing for Kerry football for the foreseeable future. A very dominant first half as the heavens are opening here in Tralee. So much for the National Leagues in the spring and summer. Andy, you mentioned there before the break about Pádraig Joyce getting the hairdryer treatment for the players. What will be the message? Like, how will he tactically go about trying to set up in the second half to try and quell this Kerry attack?
Well, firstly, I think he made changes. Steed came on there, Sweeney came on. Sweeney actually came on and had a good impact. He had 2 assists straight away. I think Comer's playing well, but Pádraig could be just saying you have 6 weeks here to the championship. If you want to play, if you want to be on this team, you got to be putting in the effort. Young Mulcairn's there as Mark and David Clifford, one-on-one. He needs Conroy to get back and help him. He needs the wing back from the opposite side to be coming in, helping him. So he cannot just left one-on-one. If any footballer in the country is left one-on-one with David Clifford, you're going to be beaten. So you need your players to come in and give you a hand, and he just needs to up the work rate. I know that's very easy to say, but he needs to up the work rate. When the ball goes into Comer, he's doing quite well.
This is it,
you know?
yeah.
He's doing quite well. But like Bregley's doing well on Walsh, but they just need up around that middle section of the field. The work rate needs to be up. When Sean O'Shea gives the ball, he surely can't be running 30 yards to get a 1-2 mark.
No, the 2 things that I would say what Pádraig Joyce needs to do. every man needs to push up in their own man. Kerry are getting way too much space out there, way too much time on the ball. You're not going to get that from Dublin. You're not going to get time on the ball at all from Dublin, from the championship teams that are at that tempo. That's the first thing. Andy mentioned the second point, get the ball in. Anytime they've done it, Comer has looked dangerous, but he's not getting enough of supply. So once that ball goes in, that's going to be the big message, those 2 points. I mentioned already Dara Moynihan. He's getting way too much time on the ball, and he has been outstanding. You know, he's buzzing around there. He's creating opportunities for other fellas, Shawnee Shea as well. But if Galway can cut down on that, make it competitive for the second half, it's going to be a big task because Kerry have the wind and, playing into the scoring goals. So it's damage limitation now for Galway.
I think the biggest fear for Kerry here in the second half, against Mayo last year down in McHale Park, they hammered them in the first half, let them back into it in the second half, nearly cost them the game. And from a goal perspective, the biggest thing here is it's 10-6. It could be 4 or 5 goals. If they get a trim in here, there might be no recovery for the rest of the year for them.
Absolutely. Well, both teams are back out on the pitch. We better get back up to the stands here. We don't want another incidence of balls joining us here at the pitch side. Let's get back up to your commentators, Marty Clark and Mike Finnerty.
Thank you, Shane. We'll let the lads get back in out of the rain and go in. Kerry ready to go. There you can see in your picture Sean Kelly from Moycullen is on for Galway, brother of the wing forward Paul. That's now 3 changes Pádraig Joyce has made in this game so far, and almost goes without saying, but it's a long way back for Galway right now. 10 points down, playing against the wind and the rain, which has rolled back in over Austin Stack Park in the last few minutes. And just looking through the record books at half-time, Kerry's biggest winning margin against Galway in a league game here in Tralee is 8 points. They won by 8 points in 1953 and 10 years ago as well. But right now they look odds on to win by a bigger margin unless Galway can get the show on the road very quickly. Here's Sean O'Shea with a chance to top up the Kerry advantage. And the Kerry number 11 from Kenmare clips it over neatly. That's 2 points for O'Shea. He hasn't scored from play yet, but that doesn't even scratch the surface of his contribution.
Yeah, absolutely huge player for Kerry. The way he wins and uses the ball, and that part of his game is free taking off the ground and from the hands is at an extremely high level.
Well, the weather has certainly taken a turn for the worst here in Tralee, as Dara Moynihan threads it through to Killian Spillane, hand in the air. Wanted to call the mark, but I think the pass was delivered from inside the 45, so Kerry play on. Quick hands, Clifford! With another stroke of genius from Kerry's main man. 2 goals for David Clifford, and this now is turning into a proper rout.
It's those 3 guys again. Spillane with a wonderful pass inside, and the unselfish and high quality O'Shea passing it to his man, his talisman. What a finish, a bullet this time, and he enjoyed that as much as we did up here. This Kerry attack has just been sensational. David Clifford, awesome.
That's now 2 goals and 4 points for David Clifford, all from play. And his bid to be the top scorer in the Allianz League is off to a flying start. Paul Conroy trying his best to carry the fight to Kerry, but at times doing it on his own. Nice ball to Comer, it just sat up nicely. Comer gets the shot off, stopped by Kieran Fitzgibbon, who got the body behind it. First save he's had to make in the game, the new Kerry goalkeeper, as Gavin Crowley tries to scoop it clear. So Kerry now tipping along, 14 points in front, and very few people would have seen this coming a few hours ago. Expect it to be a close game, expect it to be a typical opening game of the new season. It has been anything but, and there's Clifford again claiming a mark with consummate ease.
Yeah, he is, and again, Dara Moynihan, we heard Mark O'Shea at half-time singing his praises. Just doing the right things, taking the right option, using the ball well. We know Clifford's going to nail that one from the mark, but from a Galway perspective, I'm sure there's Galway people watching at home wondering what's going on. You need to see effort, you need to see aggression, that this has hurt them the first half, and it hasn't happened at the second half. But they have to show something as that's a free as it's inside, Mike. The ball,
but again,
yep.
It's the small things that are adding up now to hurt Galway, and that time it was Bernard Power who left it just a little short for Liam Silk. He couldn't resist the temptation and gathered it inside the 20-metre line. That's a technical foul. And more issues here for Galway to contend with. A hot ball in front of their own goal. David Moran beats Conroy. Gainey is in after it. He's got nowhere to go, but he still manages to squeeze it clear. Here's Clifford. Oh, what about that? The audacity, the skill, and the finish. David Clifford, the complete package. And there's his hat-trick.
Hat-trick for Clifford. Look at that skill. Dragged inside, sent two of them sprawling. Still had the composure to plant it home in the inside of the left foot along the ground. What an absolute superstar player, David Clifford. His repertoire of skills, we've never saw something like that before from him, but that is special.
Well, it looked like something he'd been working on during lockdown. The way he just beat the defender, picked his spot, and rolled it home. Well, Peter Keane's Kerry team are giving a masterclass. They've hit 2-2 without reply in the first 5 minutes of this second half. And just take another look. The Galway defence, again, all over the shop. Power and Mulkern beaten by the close control. And as Marty said, another one for the scrapbook for David Clifford.
Yeah, it's just so nice to watch, unless you're Mulkern or Power in the nets. But his body language, he was shaping to go and pull on it straight away. But he had the composure, complete control over what he was going to do. To think about doing that in that moment on a Gaelic football pitch, let alone have the composure and ability to pull it off for your third goal inside 40 minutes of a Division 1 game. He really is special. We haven't saw the likes of him, but Kerry are playing to his strengths. They're keeping him in and around the goal. They're getting him on the ball. I know that one was kind of fortuitous the way it broke to him and he made the most of it, but he is extremely dangerous, and it's almost a case now for Peter Keane of they're playing too well. It's too early in the season to be playing this exhibition stuff, but in all seriousness, it has been a joy to watch, and the only pity is there's no fans here to watch it.
Well, it will be curious to see just how Kerry might try to talk this performance down. As Marty said, it'll take some doing as Peter Keane decides to take a look at Diarmuid O'Connor and Paul O'Shea. Paul O'Shea making his first league start, or his first league appearance rather, and David Moran has put in a good shift, called ashore after 41 minutes. He's going to be wrapped in cotton wool until the game with Dublin next weekend. That match taking place at Semple Stadium tomorrow week. And here at Austin Stack Park, it is an 18-point advantage for Kerry, and they are now well on their way to smashing all sorts of records. Well, still a good solid half an hour to play, Marty. What can Galway take from the next 30 minutes? Playing for pride now.
Yeah, they are, but they need to show something. Yes, fingers might be pointed at Porrick Joyce, he's the manager, but the players need to play something, show something for a legendary player, for their manager, that they're not going to roll over here and continue to have scores piled on against them. Yes, the game's up, they've been humiliated to an extent, but they must show some passion, some fight for that Galway jersey, or else this could derail totally 2021.
Well, they got off to a flying start at the beginning of last season. Galway won 4 of their first 5 league matches. In fact, their defeat here to Kerry was their only loss on that run, but never recovered that sort of form again after the season restarted. Lost league matches against Mayo heavily, and also against Dublin, before they crashed out of the championship at the first hurdle, beaten in the Connacht final by their neighbours Mayo by a point at Pearse Stadium. and now well on their way to their 4th successive defeat in all competitions. Conroy with the free. Here he is again. Damien Comer trying to use his pace and his power. Jack Glynn knocked away cleverly there by Jason Foley. Just got enough on it to knock it away from Shane Walsh, who really has been anonymous so far. And here's the man who pulls the strings for Kerry, Sean O'Shea, looking for Clifford, the go-to man in the Kerry full forward line. 3-5 he's hit so far. What about that for a pass? O'Shea to Barry, plays on, and unfortunately can't score. That would have been quite the piece of play from Kerry had they managed to finish with a point.
Yeah, you called it, Mike. It's Sean O'Shea's range of passing. The bounce pass down the line to Clifford, perfectly weighted, and then one step outside of the right foot, 50 yards cross field, and Jack Barry really let him down there with a very easy shot that dropped in.
Well, Brino Begliak there, you could see what he was thinking from a long way back. He was caught by a stray boot a moment ago on the ground by Shane Walsh, and he was determined to catch up with the Galway captain, and he did. And he's going to pick up a card for his troubles. And it's a black card, so Brino Begliak, for that deliberate pull down, is heading to the sin bin. So Kerry down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes. Let's take another look, Marty.
Deliberate pull down, I'm not sure. You know, it was an aggressive attempt to a tackle from behind, certainly a free kick, potentially a yellow card, but the referee Lane has deemed it that it's a trip and it's a blow to Kerry, but I'm sure it'll not have an impact on the result.
So Galway now with an extra man to play with for 10 minutes. Conroy ran down a blind alley, support from Walsh. Gavin Crowley forcing him wide. Walsh chips it in around the danger area. Comer has it, holds off the defender, and Damien Comer clips his 2nd point from play of the game. Slim pickings for Comer and the rest of the Galway forward line. So happy to see that chance come his way.
Yeah, so strong. It was just a cross almost in by Shane Walsh, just put it to the advantage side of Comer, but he had so much to do and he angled it over well.
Fine catch by Paul O'Shea, who's a first cousin, by the way, of the Cliffords from Fossa. Here is one of them, Paddy, weaving his way through, and Paddy Clifford just unable to finish. He's contributed 1-1 so far, and by the looks of things, Paul O'Shea is a handy footballer as well. That's his first involvement.
Yeah, he is, young player. You know, high praise from coming out of the Kerry camp, and Paddy Clifford as well. He's a very, very graceful mover, linking up the play so well. I know he's missed a couple of chances on his right foot, but he's an exciting addition for a full season now for Kerry. Adds something different himself and Moynihan, so elusive, so good with the ball.
Both of these teams will be back in action again next weekend. Galway will play Roscommon in what will be a dress rehearsal for their Connacht Championship semi-final a little later in the summer, while Kerry and Dublin will renew rivalries at Semple Stadium 20 years on from that famous All-Ireland quarter-final at the same venue. Galway man down injured and receiving attention off the ball is Paul Conroy. So right now both teams operating with 14 men. Brino Begliak still in the sin bin for Kerry. Conroy looks to be in some trouble, and Conor Lane now is going to call a halt. And this would really add injury to insult for Pádraig Joyce and for Galway if Conroy is forced off.
Yeah, it looked like a really bad dead leg initially when I looked at it, but it just looks like Gavin White's leg comes through the back of him. It was a really poor pass, and Joyce will be really, really worried about that, because Conroy has been the one that showed a bit of fight. He showed that he's wanted the ball from the kick out. Yes, he hasn't had his best day by any means, but if a guy like that goes down, it makes a bad day even worse.
So Paul Conroy's 120th appearance for Galway ends in the 49th minute, limping off with what looks like a dead leg. But we are hearing it's, at least for the moment, a temporary substitution. Finian O'Lee from Spiddle is on, but the Galway medical team will be hoping perhaps they can work some magic, get Conroy back on the field again. Have to be honest, it doesn't look likely right now, as Pádraig Joyce and John Concannon weigh up their options. Still more than 20 minutes to go, and still plenty of time for Kerry to pile on more scores, because they have been relentless.
Yeah, they've been ruthless, relentless, everything you'd want to see from a Kerry perspective, and it has been built on a more aggressive press on the Galway kick-out. So they've scored, and then they've pressed up with aggression and with hunger, and they've scored again, and they've scored again. They've got those repeat scores on the board, and you do fear for Galway coming down the stretch, because they do look lifeless. They do not look like they're going to respond, and Kerry look in the mood for more.
And nobody more so than this man, David Clifford. Well, he's putting on an exhibition. That's now 3-6 for Clifford. And Conor Lane's whistle to signal the second water break is an act of mercy, really, from a Galway perspective. Let's take another look at Clifford doing his thing. Kerry have hit 2-3 to Galway's single point during that third quarter. And that pretty much sums up what we saw.
Yeah, I hope he stays on for the full 70 minutes, but you would imagine David Clifford, Peter Keane will give him a rest just to protect him. First game back, but he has been imperious, as we see again. O'Shea just always making the right decision. That is such a good finish, drilled with such conviction, and we're hopefully going to see the third goal again. Look what it means to him. So far in the lead, but he's just got such high standards for himself. And here we go again, Mike, with the drag back. That is just beautiful to watch. I'm sure we'll see it over and over again on the social channels throughout Ireland throughout the week. But as I mentioned previously, the mindset, the IQ from a football perspective, to think of doing that in the moment as two players dive on his boot, to pull it back and have the composure to execute it, speaks volume. He's one of very, very few Gaelic footballers that would do that.
Meanwhile, it's a very different story for Pádraig Joyce and Galway, who are doing quite a bit of soul searching at this stage of the day. They really have been blown away by Kerry. Both of these teams seen as contenders when it comes to championship titles, pretenders perhaps in the recent future to Dublin's throne as well, but only one team right now looks like they're at the races in that regard.
Yeah, and I mentioned about Clifford maybe not seeing the 70 minutes. It looks like Tommy Walsh has replaced David Clifford. So 3-6 he's going to have to settle for today, Mike.
So David Clifford takes a break. He's just 22 as well. That's bad news for cornerbacks everywhere. He's only getting started. And Tommy Welch, as Marty flagged there, is on. All 6'6" of the Cairns O'Reilly's man is currently positioned in the centre of the field for Kerry. Galway just a point to show for their efforts since half-time. What can they come up with down this home stretch? They're just 7 weeks out from the Connacht Championship. Kerry with a 6-week run-in to their Munster Championship clash with Clare. Just look where Jason Foley is, the corner back, keen to get in on the action down at that end. Sean O'Shea, the primary playmaker. And once more, very little pressure, if any, on the ball as Kerry come forward. Paul O'Shea cuts in. And what a way to kick your first score for the Kerry seniors. Paul O'Shea from Kilcummin Under 20 this year, you will see a lot more of him in years to come. And there's him opening his account.
Yeah, he was almost surprised that it opened up right in front of him. He had so much space just to walk into, and he took his point really well. A big moment for him, getting on the score sheet for Kerry, and it just keeps getting better and better for the Kingdom.
So right now, 26 points, plays 7. Kerry were tipped to win this game in advance by a margin of some 4 points, if memory serves me correct, but they have been much, much better than that prediction. And Galway just haven't delivered at all. Shane Walsh looking for his first score from play at this late stage, and Shane Walsh gets it. Well, it's a trademark spectacular effort from Shane Walsh, but much too little, much too late.
Yeah, but that's what you want your captain doing. Don't waste these last 20 minutes from a Galway perspective. Yes, it's been a nightmare in Tralee, but at least show some fight. And the defending from Kerry was quite good there. He was under severe pressure, but that left foot can do the job from anywhere, and that was a really nice score by Walsh.
Paul Murphy carries it clear and delivers a flawless pass to Tommy Welch. Again, he takes a handful of Galway men out of the game, but Tommy Welch a bit ambitious with his diagonal ball, and Galway have it back again. Fineen O'Lee trying to make a beeline for the Kerry goal, just knocked off balance by Tadhg Morley. Chance here perhaps for Galway to set something in motion. Brino Begliak will be back in the match, by the way, in about 2 minutes' time. So Galway with a couple of minutes to try and make this extra man count. Shane Walsh, close control is good. He's trying to hold off Gavin White and trying to release Matthew Tierney.
But look at the pressure on the ball here. That forced the error. That is the difference. Even with 14 men, there is no peace for Shane Walsh to make a decision. White was all over him. The next ball that it was transferred to, there was pressure on the ball at all times, and that has been significant. And it's been absent from the Galway defence, if you like, the team defence. There's been no direct pressure on the ball, and if you give Kerry players time and space, they will use the ball well.
Well, Galway down quite a few of last year's squad for one reason or another right now, and all of them are being sorely missed. Gary Seiss and Gareth Bradshaw, they both retired at the end of last season. Then you have the likes of Michael Daly, Adrian Varley and Ian Burke, who've all opted out of the squad this season. Plus John Daly, Tom Flynn, Dara Silk, Killian McDade, all sidelined through injury, and it's all added up to the scoreline you can see at the top of your screen here. That ball last touched the Kerry fullback Tadhg Morley as Peter Keane's getting ready to bring in 2 more subs. Graham O'Sullivan and Adrian Spillane will be on very shortly. Brino Begliak will not be returning to the game. He's one of the players who will be replaced as Matthew Tierney drills this 45 out to the right and wide. But we mentioned there, Marty, a lot of players that Pádraig Joyce is missing for one reason or another. And today shows he's going to struggle to make Galway really competitive without a lot of them.
Yeah, of course, and when you're playing at the top tier and you know you're playing in a competitive Connacht Championship, you do need everyone. You need to be adding to the squad, and they do seem to have lost more quality than they've brought in. Yes, they've had a very successful under-20 team, but it's a huge jump, as a lot of those boys have found out today, and you do fear from Galway if it was all known where they were at after today. It appears their post-COVID form from last season has really carried on.
Chance here for Galway to conjure something. It's Comer, and that's wide. He did get a nudge from Adrian Spillane, I think, as he squeezed the trigger. But it was a nice clip delivery. Comer shot on sight. second wide in quick succession from Galway. And it just hasn't been Damien Comer's day either.
No, it hasn't. He has showed he's continued to battle, and that was almost an effort in frustration, turning away from goal, trying to blast it with all his power. It was never going to threaten the goal, but you do fear very much for Galway. Their body language all over the field, they just look completely and utterly shell-shocked. The scoreline is just getting worse and worse, and it's going to be a long way back.
Well, Kerry have outscored their visitors 2-4 to 2 points so far in the second half. That's another reason for Pádraig Joyce to look worried, as in comes Tom O'Culhan from Salthill Knocknacarra, one of the stars of Galway's All-Ireland Under-20 final win last season. And Desi Keneally is the player who's made way. Hit a point earlier on in the day, but another of the Galway forwards who struggled to make any impact. Tadhg Morley in full flight. The Temple full-back hurdles the challenge and sets Diarmuid O'Connor away. Jack Barry coming on the overlap. Galway backs hunting him into the corner, and now Sean O'Shea. Paul O'Shea, quick look up, leaving it in on top of Tommy Welsh, who claims it in the air, calls the mark, and perhaps that a sign of things to come.
Yeah, it's just a different avenue to attack. We saw in the first half the little bounce balls in. We're working a treat between O'Shea, Clifford, Spillane. Second half, in comes Walsh, try something different. He's a man well used to the mark with his time in Australia in the AFL, and he's put that over the bar.
Well, he's 33 now, Tommy Welch. He's a man mountain, and Peter Keane has parked him in on the edge of the square for the moment as Kieran Malloy from Currafin comes on for Galway. Man who's being replaced is Eamon Brannigan. So we're into the 60th minute now here at Austin Stack Park. The heavy lifting has been done by Kerry. Only issue now will be the margin of victory. Sean O'Shea, kick blocked down, falls kindly for Tommy Welch. Had to call on all his reserves of strength there to hang on to that ball. Killian Spillane lays it off to O'Shea. Always plays with his head up. Oh, lovely sidestep. Paul O'Shea was almost through there, but that was a clever challenge by Damien Comer. Sleight of hand from the Galway full forward. Kerry's Darragh Moynihan is down just out of your picture. There he is right now, getting some attention. Looks like he's cramping up, and why wouldn't he? An hour in, and he has run himself into the ground. This his first game in some 6 months. Galway find some time, find some space, and they have knocked over a 9th point, and that's kicked from the boot of Sean Kelly. Much better.
Yeah, well, he's been good since he's come on, Kelly. Obviously, he's very much up against it coming in with the team so far behind, but he's done some nice things, and that score was certainly one of them.
Well, Kerry have certainly sent out a message very loud and clear from Tralee today. They are a force to be reckoned with on the evidence of what we've seen so far. And they've answered quite a few questions, Marty. It's still very early days. It's only the first round of the league, but considering how quick the championship is coming down the tracks, this is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a huge step. They appear to me like a team who has played a lot of football in their 4 weeks together, or however many weeks they've been together training. They just look really, really slick together. Like there's been a lot of ball work going on in training. They just look really fluid, and that man, Sean O'Shea, yes, David Clifford will steal the headlines, but O'Shea's football intelligence, the way he is so key to this team. He has been so good for a long time now, 3-4 seasons he's been around. Absolutely class.
That's his third point of the day. Just a few moments ago, you'll have seen Micheál Burns from the Dr. Crokes club come on. Darren Moynihan, the player who has gone off injured, as Kerry continue on their merry way. Paul O'Shea to Sean O'Shea, and a mark and another shot at goal. Well, it's been one-way traffic from a long way out, and it is going to be a very long journey back home for Galway this evening.
Yeah, we see again, Kerry, even though they've a number of changes, they've employed this same zone that they started out this game with, and it's something new, something they're going to try, obviously, throughout the season, and it's been super effective for them to score heavily in short period of time.
Bernard Power has to go long, he'd no option. Ball breaks back on the right side for Ronan Steed, and here's a first chance to see Tom O'Culhan. Very exciting young player. Now Finino Lee. Kerry have got their defence set. Kieran Malloy almost caught by surprise there, had to check his run, improvised really well, and Kieran Malloy gets his score.
Yeah, he's done really well, Malloy. Familiar face from the Cora Finn outfit. Took that chance really well. The ball almost, as you mentioned, just came at him surprised, but he made it look good.
That now means there are 19 points between the teams. Kerry will be sitting pretty, you'd imagine, on top of Division 1 on Monday morning, unless somebody else in Division 1 can do a number on their opponents at some stage over the weekend. And it just makes the proposition of Kerry taking on Dublin next weekend all the more appealing. The 6-in-a-row All-Ireland champions against one of the main contenders.
Yeah, will both sides be going all out, or could that be a showcase for this year's All-Ireland final? Who knows? There's so many little subplots there, but certainly it promises to be a brilliant fixture, as it always is.
Gavin Crowley lets it up on the wind in towards Tommy Welch. Effortless goal chance. Power denies Adrian Spillane a fifth Kerry goal. Well, that's the third good stop Bernard Power has made in this game. And were it not for them, well, that scoreline would look a whole lot worse from a Galway perspective.
Yeah, often when we see a plan B, the likes of Tommy Walsh, we saw Kieran Donaghy here in a Kerry jersey, it's when the team's behind. I like how Peter Keane's tried it, even though things are going really well. Tommy Walsh has been magnificent in there, that long weighted pass to his advantage. He's won it brilliantly, defences in 6 and 7s, gives the ball off, and he's just rushed it a little bit. The finish plan, as we expect Sean O'Shea to nail this score as well, but Tommy Walsh has offered something different now that David Clifford in particular has gone off.
Well, Bernard Power's ambitions of keeping a 6th clean sheet on his 11th appearance, that was long gone, but he has made a few fine saves. Sean O'Shea, meanwhile, has knocked over his 5th point, and Peter Keane will take a look down the home stretch at the man in your picture a moment ago, Mike Breen, another All-Ireland minor winner from a few years ago. Was full back on the Higher Education Team of the Year last year after his performances with UCD. Played his minor football at midfield, and he is another option for Peter Keane and Kerry for the weeks ahead. So 20 points between them, 4 minutes to go. It's been quite a while since a Division 1 game has been so lopsided.
Yeah, it wasn't, as we see Walsh again being targeted. Oh,
What a take.
That is absolutely quality, because the ball was just drilled in, but the ground he made up and still be able to take it, as you said, it was so impressive, and it's just getting better and better as he plays it on. Very intelligent, makes sure of it.
Well, he's been used right now in that bomber Liston role by Peter Keane, and it's working a treat. Again, the Galway backline there switching off, and a handy score for Paudie Clifford. Kerry glossing that final scoreline and just emphasising the one-sided nature of this game.
Yeah, just come back on that point, Mike. The game last year, just after the lockdown between Galway and Mayo, I remember was a huge margin as well. So Galway really, they haven't won since the initial lockdown. It's a number of games now they've went without winning, and it really is difficult to see them pull themselves together for the Roscommon game next week.
Bit of work here for Kieran Fitzgibbon to take care of. Didn't get there, but man in the right place at the right time was Mike Breen. Heavy collision in front of goal, but everybody back up on their feet again and good to go. Paudie Clifford still full of running. Tried to pop the hand pass on the run to a teammate, but intercepted by Kieran Malloy. And now Dylan McHugh can take it forward. His league debut has not quite gone to plan either. Ronan Steed, outside of the boot, leaves it right down on top of Cathal Sweeney. Now Tom O'Culhan drills it in low, but Damien Comer had made his run in the other direction. And easy for Tig Morley. Well, Kieran Fitzgibbon, on his league debut, the Kerry goalkeeper, looks set to keep a clean sheet. It will be very interesting, though, to hear the update on Kerry's regular goalkeeper, Shane Ryan, because we did just hear beforehand, Kerry just carrying 2 goalkeepers in their squad at the moment. So that may be something Peter Keane will have to review in the days ahead.
Yeah, there's always things to improve on, and certainly it was a bit of a mystery. Hopefully Keane can shine some light, and the goalkeeping coach, former keeper here, Keeley, having to come into the squad was very interesting. But Fitzgibbon's done well. He's been solid. His kickouts have been okay. They've been pretty good. He's missed a couple, but it's good for him to get experience in there and to settle into the team if he is set for an extended run.
Well, Galway lost that league game to Mayo last autumn by 15 points at Tuam Stadium. They're now on their way to something in the region of a 20-point beating here. And they are very heavy trouncings to be taking in such quick succession, as Marty mentioned, especially with the likes of Roscommon and Dublin to come in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, certainly one you can accept every now and then, every few years, as we see a skirmish off the ball involving two sets of players. But it's really cranking up a little bit.
Well, just out of shot there, and it's still going on. Off the ball, a fair bit of grappling involving Sean Mulcairn and Sean O'Shea and Paudie Clifford and Galway's number 18, Sean Kelly. It was much ado about nothing, really. Everybody, I think, well, particularly the Galway lads, getting very frustrated and perhaps being reminded of the current state of play, shall we say, as Sean O'Shea gets ready to get in a little more target practice. We're into stoppage time. And now is probably and possibly a good time, Marty, to ask you for your Allianz man of the match. I would imagine no prizes for guessing.
No, David Clifford. It's been just such a great attacking display by the whole of the Kerry team. We're going to see a couple of yellow cards here as the umpires have advised Conor Lane to dish them out. But David Clifford, we know what a superstar he is. You mentioned he's only 22, but he just seems to be getting better and better. His size, his speed, his finishing off either foot, his intelligence, the way he's linking up, and the hat-trick, particularly that third goal, just summed up the sheer class of the man. It's another man of the match for David Clifford.
So David Clifford is Marty's selection for his Allianz man of the match. Sean O'Shea has now hit 5 points for Kerry. And there is the man of the moment and the man of the match. David Clifford, 3-6. He shot for Kerry today before he was replaced. And he looks like a man who means business yet again this season. Kerry not finished here by the looks of things. Paddy Clifford, there's a goal on here for Sean O'Shea, and power to the rescue once more for Galway. Well, at times he's been single-handedly trying to keep Kerry out, and he's just done it again.
Yeah, sliced through the defence again, and it's probably the first time today that Sean O'Shea has had the ball and it hasn't resulted in a score either for himself or one of his teammates, and it's a great save again by Parr. He's had a number of those saves that he's blocked with his legs and his body. But you still imagine O'Shea to have the composure to dust himself off and drill this 45 over the bar.
So it is a 22-point game here at Austin Stack Park. And a chance for Sean O'Shea to hone his place-kicking technique. Perfect conditions for a place kicker of his caliber. Breeze behind him, trying to draw it in, and that really is as good as it gets.
Yeah, he has become now right in behind Dean Rock. He's flawless with his frees. He hasn't missed today either. He can do it from the hands, off the ground as well, but that is style off the ground, how slowly the ball moves through the air as it just glides over the bar. Just another joyous player to watch on this Kerry team.
That's now 2-11 Kerry have shot in this second half to go nicely with the 2-10 they had on the board before half-time. Galway have managed 4 points in the second half on a very forgettable day for them. So perhaps one last chance for Galway to put a score on the board. That's a foul on Robert Finnerty, who's come into the Galway attack. His father, Anthony, of course, scored a famous goal in the All-Ireland final of 1989 for Mayo. His son, Robert, part of the Galway squad for the last few seasons. And he'll have a chance here to get his name on the score sheet. Well, he won the free himself, and he converts it in some style. And that now leaves 4 goals and 10 points between them. And Conor Lane has seen enough. And really it was done and dusted from a long way out here at Austin Stack Park. One of those days when Galway had no answers to any of the questions they were asked by Kerry. And David Clifford delivering a majestic performance, another one, 3-6 for our Allianz man of the match. And Kerry, the defending league champions, are up and running. It's finished here in Tralee. Kerry 421, Galway 11 points.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Mike. Well, as Mike Finnerty said there, gentlemen, 421 to 11 points. Mark, I'm struggling to think of a more one-sided game in Division 1 of the Allianz Leagues in the recent years anyway.
Yeah, it was, look, I suppose disappointing that we spoke about before the game about how much we were looking forward to this, and you know how that both teams bring out the best in each other, but Galway never showed up today, and very disappointing from their point of view. But look, I suppose from Pádraig Joyce's point of view, at least it happened now, as opposed to maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road when their place taking on Roscommon in the Connacht Championship. So he's a lot of work to do. You know, the big players for Galway never really stood up today, and that's a really worrying thing. But as I say, look, plenty of work for him to do. For Kerry, it all seemed to go right, but you know, I think Kerry deep down know that they're not going to get things that easy in the future games ahead, particularly in Thurles next weekend and up to the Hyde the following weekend. It was all too easy for them today.
Yeah, you're looking at work rate, and we also always say about work rate in the tackle and getting the hits in around the middle of the field. But we were looking at the inside forward line for Galway. You're looking for work rate. They'd have the ball out here in the 45. Who's making the run? Who's taking the sweep route? Who's helping? Then you look at the back line. You have young lads like Jack Glynn, Sean Mulkern there. need a bit of help from Gary O'Donnell and Johnny Heaney. They can't be just going out saying, I'm just going to mark my man out on the line and not coming in, tracking in and helping them guys out. So that's what I'd be really disappointed with Galway. Yes, they can get the tackles in, but on both sides of the field, how are you going to help out your young full back line? But how also are you going to show for the ball inside?
Yeah, looking at it, and listen, we will get into the analysis of the match in a bit more in-depth look in a few moments, but is today more of a case of Kerry excellent or Galway extremely poor?
I think a bit of both. I think, look, Kerry are obviously hurting after the situation that happened below in Park Keeve last year. It's great for the Kerry supporters that we got a reaction today. It's very positive. And look, we're, throughout the whole field, there wasn't one player you could say that had a poor game. You mentioned the different lines. I was delighted to see the likes of Jason Foley and Brian O'Begley out in front of their men. The way they were able to attack that ball, that's what I love to see from the inside line, the inside full back line. So every area of the field, Kerry were really at the game today. As I said, the boys just attacking that ball, a half back line. The first thing was moving the ball through the lines, and the work rate from the likes of Dara Moynihan. It was like kind of Paul Galvin-esque, the way he was just into everything, and I think he's a real find for Kerry in the last few years. Come through those minors, that great minor team, and I suppose when you're the likes of David Clifford, the likes of Moynihan is somewhat gets overseen, because Clifford takes all the limelight, but Dara Moynihan was outstanding as well today, and it's great that we have players like that coming through. Yeah,
absolutely. Two words spring to mind from that Kerry performance, I suppose. The first half looked effortless, and then as well, as Mark mentioned, relentless as well in terms of work rate.
I think it's Peter Keane and the guys, I'd say, were in the dressing room. They were saying, remember Mayo last year, remember we slipped off, we nearly got beaten, and then all of a sudden we do it against Cork in the championship, and no recovery. You could see right from the first throw in, they win the ball, they get a point, win the ball, get a free, keeper kicks it out, doesn't kick it out beyond the 21. They're shouting, they're winning the game is over, and they're still trying to push it. So I think that relentless word is a really good word to use, and it really describes what we've seen there today.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of relentless and effortless, Mike Finnerty is standing by with our Alliance man of the match, David Clifford.
David, a flying start, a winning start for Kerry to their Alliance League campaign, and you score your first hat-trick at senior level for Kerry. All in all, not a bad day.
Yeah, look, I suppose a decent start. It's very hard to know the first day out after only 3 weeks or whatever we had. So, yeah, look, we're happy enough to get the win, but it's only a start, as you said.
A 22-point win. Did you enjoy yourself out there?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I think things flowed well. I think we were moving fairly well up front. We kind of, I suppose we were putting pressure on Galway coming out with the ball. So yeah, it was enjoyable. It's great to get back out there. I suppose it's been a long 5.5 months or whatever it was.
All your goals were well taken, but talk us through the third one.
Yeah, hard to know. I suppose I played a bit of soccer in my younger days. I was a centre half though, so I don't know where that came from. But sure, look, when they go in, it's always nice.
It certainly was a nice first touch, all right. And now Kerry Dublin next Sunday takes on a whole different level of importance. There'll be a huge focus. You must be really looking forward to getting a crack at the All-Ireland champions.
Yeah, 100%. I suppose. Look, any day we get to go out and take on a team like Dublin is a great opportunity. But look, it's just another step. We're trying to get games under our belt before the championship starts, I suppose.
Well, David, congratulations. You are our Allianz man of the match. You did most things well today, so we'll trust you to present yourself with a man of the match award as well, if you don't mind, due to COVID restrictions. Well done. Congratulations.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yes, he can do anything, including presenting himself with the award. Mark, I think he was struggling there to remember what the third goal was. He had so many chances and so many goals. Is it are you born with this humbleness in Kerry in terms of trying to play it all down there? The full forward line were going well. I mean, that's exceptional, and then he is trying to just play down the hype.
Yeah, I think that's the man. He comes from good stock. He's very level-headed bloke, and keeps his head down, just does his work. He's not a fella that likes the limelight. He just goes about his business nicely. We're blessed to have him, to be honest with you. The likes of Maurice Fitzgerald retires, and all of a sudden the Gooch comes along, and then the Gooch retires, and all of a sudden this guy comes along. We're very lucky to have him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think from the whole country point of view, the game of Gaelic football is blessed to have him, and blessed to have Sean O'Shea and the likes. And that's what I find hard when people downplay Gaelic football. We're seeing some of the most outstanding talent we've ever seen, and it's just great to see it.
Absolutely, certainly is one of the greatest sportsmen in the country at the moment. Right, we will take an in-depth look at that match in just a few moments' time with Mark O'Shea and Andy Moran. Do stay with us. Yes, welcome back to Tralee. Still plenty to discuss from today's encounter, but coming up directly after us here on Air Sport 1, it's the FA Cup final live from Wembley Stadium. Chelsea aiming to finish the season as double champions. Can they overcome Leicester before the small matter of a Champions League final? Yeah, certainly I think David Clifford wouldn't look too out of place in that one. Gentlemen, we mentioned there just the relentlessness, the effortlessness of Kerry in such a dominant performance, and we heard from David Clifford just before the break there. Let's look at some of his scores because it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, he was just unbelievable to watch him today. Everything he did, and you know, I mentioned this before the game. He's so strong. This ball across the square, big man gets up, gets the goal, and very little the Galway fullback could have done there. But as I said, he's so strong, and you know, if you go in to tackle him, he's so strong.
You bounce off him.
Oh yeah, and he can, and the third goal, I mean, and again, he's outstanding in front of goal. He's so composed, keeps the ball low there, and of course, I think this is the last of the hat trick, and I think, you know, sorry, that's the mark, but
Again, showing his all-round game as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and like he knows when to take the mark or when to take it on, and you know, I think the ball is brought out here. He's on the loop, I think, and again, oh, this is the goal, yeah, and he's. I think the FA Cup final is on next year, Shane. I think he wouldn't be. He'd definitely stand out in that because
it's just magic to watch. It was magic to watch himself, you know, Sean Shea there today, because like. You can eulogize about David Clifford, and we will, and of course he deserves all the plaudits, but you always need someone feeding you. I know as an inside forward, you always needed someone to get you the ball, to do the hard work. He was just feeding him left, right and centre, getting the ball to him, moving it to him, and no ego. I love that about Sean Shea. He gives the ball to the man in the right position. I think Marty described it. He was absolutely fabulous there today. It was great to see him.
Absolutely. Well, we will take a look at that Kerry work rate, but I believe Mike Finnerty is standing by with Peter Keane.
Peter, I'm sure you've had much harder days on the sideline with Kerry. It must have been a nice experience. You must have enjoyed that game today.
Well, I suppose, look, it's 5.5 months since we played, so there was a lot of things to try and get right, and you know, we were watching every little thing that was going on. And look, I suppose we were fortunate with a few things that went our way. I wouldn't say the scoreboard would reflect the score or wouldn't reflect the performance of either team, but look, we won, and you know, we're moving on.
What was the most pleasing thing for you from the performance?
I suppose one of the things that was real nice was that we got three fellas made their debut today. Kieran Fitzgibbon in goal, Mike Breen came on as a sub, and Paul O'Shea came on as a sub on his birthday. So you know, it was great to get three fellas and three new fellas into the squad, and I think over the last few years, this is my third year, we've had a lot of fellas that have come in. You know, it's a team in transition, it's a young team, and you know, I know there appears to be a lot of expectation out there about Kerry over the last couple of years, but we're still a very, very young team, and we're still .4 or 5 months. When he came back 3 weeks ago, he's in very good shape. But you know, all round, I think his brother Paddy did well as well today, going forward. Paul Ganey had a good game for us. David Moran had a good game, and Tommy Walsh came on and did very, very well. As I said, the aforementioned goalkeeper Kieran Fitzgibbon did very well. You know, so look, there was a lot of very, very good performances from our perspective. So look, we're relatively happy with it.
Peter, thank you.
Good stuff. Great to hear from Peter Keane there. I was told John Egan, Premier League footballer and proud Kerryman, was tweeting, were we watching David Clifford or Leo Messi out there? I think that was the standard of performance there. But Andy, we mentioned that it wasn't just about David or indeed Paddy Clifford, that it was a team performance, and an exceptional Kerry work rate really added to that great victory.
Yeah, I think Peter Keane took stick probably after the Cork game last year. I think he deserves an awful lot of credit here today. The way he's got his players, you see here, Gavin White, followed by Sean O'Shea, in we go Darren Moynihan, you know, and away they go up the field all the time. So it makes it very easy for Clifford and Shea to kind of, and Paddy Clifford and Spinane to score the scores when your guys are working like this. You see this again, brilliant play out and around, and like, look at this for a hand pass by Sean Shea. Look at this, brilliant little hand pass off the step. It's brilliant. So yes, lovely to see Clifford doing the business, but you see his back's out. Like Mark was here beside me. Mark, you can come in on this. You were here about Brian and you're on about Foley. We need them to get the hand in. We need them to get around the corner. And right from the onset, they were in. The way they set up from the kickouts, Peter Keane deserves massive credit for it.
Oh yeah, and great defending there from Paul Murphy. But albeit, like Galway kicking the ball in, there was something like 6 or 7 Kerry players, and Galway aimlessly kicking that ball in. So I mean, these Galway players, they're going to sit down and watch this video. It's going to be tough viewing for them because they were not at the races today.
Well, speaking of which, because we can talk up Kerry all day long, it was an aimless Galway performance. I think we have a few clips here to show that.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, on a given day, these balls will go over the bar. So, you know, there is that side of it. You mentioned beforehand, you know, were Kerry that good or were Galway that bad? And I did say it was a bit of both. But, I mean, you know, Galway will look back in the video and look at some of the decision-making that they had. And it's shocking, to be quite honest with you. You wouldn't get this in a club game.
Do you put that down to match sharpness in terms of, you know, I know everyone has to contend with, we've only got 4 weeks back and people are still getting back at it. But, I mean...
I don't think you can put that down to match. Kerry were at the
races
today. I think other county, you're going to watch the games over the course of the weekend, and you're going to see a high calibre of football. They've been back training a few weeks now. You might lose, you might be a bit rusty, but you're not going to lose your touch. You're not going to be, some of the play here from Galway today, they're better than that. We've seen the Galway of old, and Andy, you come in there.
Yeah, but some of the question marks have to be asked. The Galway had a really good first half of the season last year. It gets cut by COVID. To come back and play Mayo up in Tuam, Mayo destroyed them. They played Dublin. Dublin beat them by 2 goals. They play Mayo in the Connacht Championship. They were very unfortunate not to play the game against Sligo coming into it, and they lose. And today, they're back again to where they started them. Like, that's going to be really hard to recover from. There's no point dressing up. You see the last one, young Sweeney from Salt Hill there hitting the last shot. He's a 20-year-old. Did really well when he came on, but he could sense, I need to do something here. They need their older players. The Gary O'Donnells, the Paul Conroys, the Shane Walsh, the Damien Comer to do something around it. And I think that's what's going to make the difference.
Good stuff. Well, it'll be interesting to see, can they respond against Roscommon next week? And indeed, Dublin Kerry in Thurles. It's going to be a big one. Just before we do go, just time to remind you once again, the FA Cup final is next here on Air Sport 1. And there's some hurling to look forward to tonight over on Air Sport 2 as Tip and Cork go head-to-head at the home of hurling, Semple Stadium, live from 7:10. Sinead, my thanks to Andy Moran and Mark O'Shea for the company pitch side today on a day where Kingdom rule. The tribesmen took a trimming. Goodbye.